Anyway, it'll work out.
Either way, we'll make it work.
We'll make it work. Yeah,
Legend of Vox Machina season 4.
It'll become apparent why I want to go first when I go first. Yeah. Anyway, Legend of Vox Machina season 4. Legend of Vox Machina season 4. Run the trailer.
You first called on me. I have been preparing you for what now begins. Everyone is in danger.
Let me guess. A vague portent of doom with little to no explanation.
This realm is built on false gods. The old ways must die.
Who the are these people?
The usual. Death cultists, supernatural villains.
Classic Vox Mox. I did not miss the constant peril.
Vox Machina is here. Kill them all!
Ah, crap.
Most problems can be solved by punching.
When they can't?
You kick.
Oh, I could get used to this!
2, 3, 4!
This has been playing out far longer than we knew.
Maybe it's a complete and utter coincidence?
We're not lucky enough for that.
If we're doing a video for this one. I don't know if we are. I'm just going to say it, Jordan. Legend of Vox Machina season 4. I don't know. I don't know if it's because... Shoot. I'm spacing on the name, Jordan. Mighty Nine. I don't know if because the Mighty Nine raised the bar so high. So much higher than it was already at. And I saw some people say the same thing, where they're like, that show really benefited from being 40 minutes. This show would benefit from being 40 minutes. Because you said this, and I wasn't going to say it, but you said it. I think this is the worst season.
So, okay.
There's an asterisk to that, though. There is an asterisk to that I will come back to, but just that's my opening thesis. I do agree. I do think this might be the worst season.
So, okay. The reason for me why this is the worst season might be different than reasons for you. It's hard to say.
Probably, yeah. I imagine so.
But, my thing with both this and the Mighty Nine show, in particular the Mighty Nine show, but for the same reasons as the Mighty Nine show is why I say that about this season. So if you're going into this thinking like this show generally, and same with Mighty Nine, if you're going into it going like, oh, I'm drinking Coca-Cola, like, I'm going to be getting the Coca-Cola, like the critical role in this example, the normal show is Coca-Cola.
See,
that's your let me finish. That's your standard Coca-Cola, that like when you get your normal Coca-Cola, that's what you're going to get, right?
Like
Now when you come to this show and the Mighty Nine show in particular, the first couple seasons for this show aren't as bad. But this season in particular is really bad, where if you're coming in thinking you're getting exactly the same Coca-Cola as you are from the original, you're not. You're getting off-brand cola. It's not the same. It's not the same cola. It tastes good. It's fine. Like it's serviceable. But no, it's not the same, because there is so much in this season, which just it doesn't happen in the original.
I just don't think
it's made just for this show.
I've never liked that analogy. I think a far better analogy and I understand why you wouldn't use it here because you're trying to be general, but I still think the better analogy is you're like, this is Dragon Ball Z Kai, that's Dragon Ball Z.
That's another way of interpreting it.
I like that better. To me, that's a way better analogy, because I just don't think anyone
for the layman, the other one is simpler.
I just don't think anyone would. I wouldn't compare. I wouldn't say that it's like dealing, because I as a person who's now not with this season as much, but the previous season.
Or if you prefer, it's the equivalent to another way, and maybe a kinder way of saying it. Is this show and the Mighty Nine show for me is the equivalent of when you took the Harry Potter books and made them into movies.
Yes, we're on the same wavelength today, Jordan, because I was gonna say the exact same thing. I was like, to
Where
me, a better analogy is like
it's an adaptation.
yeah, this is Harry Potter, and the Philosopher's Stone, the movie, and the Critical Role is the book. Like that's what this is, and like that.
So it's like, sorry.
So I was just gonna say you could feel that. I was weird because with this season I felt that way less, where it was like this feels like you're taking a bunch of shit that happens over the long course of a very long time and condensed it into a very short time. This didn't feel like that as much for me.
Yeah, this didn't feel like that as much for you because this wasn't a campaign which they shrunk down and made into the show. This was just a show.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, and I will say my reasons for thinking
and the changing point, the drastic changing point of where it all changes is season 3.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
So everything after that point is like it's got the coding of Vox Machina on there without any of the actual this came from the table.
It's just really my problem with this season in particular. It's so this feels like the season that's onto the season where important that's the season before the season where all the important shit happens. It's all set up with not a ton of payoff, and the setup is really sluggish. Like those first like 2 to 3 episodes are sluggish. They're slow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things. So I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. Some might view this as a positive. I view it as a negative. What I'm about to say. So because this show has the benefit of it now exists in a world after a whole bunch of other campaigns and side campaigns inside this and side that and yada yada yada. So this show can add things and Easter eggs and references and just straight up scenes which couldn't exist in the original because they didn't exist.
Yeah.
Right? And some people might be like, oh, that's really cool. That's just an example of like the world is bigger now, so they can show, like they can flesh things out more, right? I don't like that.
Yeah.
I think that it cheapens it, and it changes it from a thing that was already really strong. So like the best example of that is in this season is Laudna shows up.
Yeah.
Laudna can't show up. Laudna, that's not, nope, that's not right. Laudna does not exist in a world where Delilah is still alive.
Yeah,
that completely changes the dynamic of their relationship.
She's the crazy woman who like appears and makes the what's her face think that the husband turned on her, right? That definitely. As a person who has no idea who that is, and I don't care to discuss who she is, because it's irrelevant to the show. It was very much one of those.
It's just an annoying wink at the camera, fucking Easter.
It feels
eggs.
like that. It feels like a. I hate cameos where the characters do this basically.
Yeah.
Like I'm a character you should know. I'm a character you should. I hate that because it pulls away from the narrative of the show. The show should just exist as its own thing.
It's one of those ones
too. Don't wink and a nod cameo. And this show hasn't really been that up until this point.
It's an example of one where for a person who does know who she is, it's incredibly distracting and it makes no sense.
No, because my friends loved it.
Directly in the face of the lore of the world.
They were a fan of that cameo.
No, they're wrong. And there's another example of that too in an earlier season where when Pike goes to the Hells or whatever, and she talks to the one guy who is I don't remember what his name is, Xerxes or whatever his name was. He's the champion of like the evil hell guy or whatever.
Yeah.
He's a character who when they did Mighty Nine or when they did Vox Machina, he didn't exist, but he comes from one of the side campaigns that they did in between the Exandria Unlimited ones, where they did like the background, the Age of Calamity background of the gods scenario. He was a character from that, so that's another example of like it's a directly in the face of people who know what, like if you know you know.
Even just like
it's just like no.
For me it was just
that one was way less bad.
again, it takes the show. Okay, number one thing. This is just a general criticism of things generally. I don't know if I've talked about that. I fucking hate time skips. I cannot stand time skips. That's gonna come back. That's gonna come back again later. But I fucking hate time skips. I hate character development that happens off camera. I hate disillusionments of teams because then the first 3 or 4 episodes of the show, like
rebuilding the team.
it's just rebuilding the team. It's wasting time. I'm like, it's rehashing character arcs I've already done before. It's not very. We did this. We've done this. Why are we doing this again? Like this is like by season 3.
So
it's like
for me,
season 4, I'm like,
yeah.
I don't need this. This is not interesting to me.
The reason why it's frustrating for me is, and again, okay, so this is a thing that I'm also discovering is the longer this show goes on, the further I am from when I first watched or
Yeah.
listened to the campaign. Because like I'm looking at this and I'm like, this first premiered in 2022. That's like 4 years ago at this point.
Pretty much, yeah.
When I watched this the first time, the first season, the first time, that was like pretty much when I just finished the campaign, which
Yeah.
means I haven't listened to the original campaign in like 4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
My memory's not that great.
I'm currently listening to the first campaign, so I'm like, this stuff is still kind of fresh for me.
But like, so there's certain things that stick out for me, and one of the big ones is like, from what I recall, it's not a year long time skip. It's like a week or two or something like that. It's not very.
That makes much more sense.
It's not very long, or I mean, it might be like a couple of months or something like that, but like not a year. I don't remember it being a year. But like, yeah, then they basically they go to this place to go and inspect the cult.
Yeah.
They get called there, and that's where they run it. And so it's like there's like a couple episodes or not very much where you're with Darian, but like he grows on you fast because it's Sam and he's basically he's in a lot of ways just kind of still playing Scanlan,
Yeah, well,
even though he's not really.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's an element of this show where, like, yeah, okay, clearly within the context of the story of the campaign, Taron Darrington was here, and that's very obvious. And I think I said to you, he got. To be fair, I kind of wavered. He in the mid. It's hard because Wayne Brady is so fucking charismatic, and his performance is so good, and he sings songs that are hilarious, but.
Well, like he is supposed to be a character that Vox Machina does like form an attachment with him.
What is he?
So.
What's his class? What is Taron Darrington?
Can't remember.
Because I couldn't figure that out from this. I couldn't figure out what his class was. Like the thing about every other Vox Machina, like I could tell when I first watched the first season. I was like, the twins are rogues. No, sorry. The girl is an archer, a ranger. He's a rogue. He's a bard. He's a barbarian, and she's I think a paladin or a cleric. You could tell you could tell what they all were. With him, I can't tell because he clearly that gem is clearly one of the gem thing is clearly one of his mechanics from the game.
Yeah, it was a thing where basically, from what I remember, I think in the campaign, it was like he had a few different things. One of them was like a staff sword thing. It was a thing that he could transform into any weapon he needed it to. Then he had, I think he had like the coins where he could. That's what it was. He was an artificer.
Oh,
he's a battlesmith artificer.
Okay, I would have not have picked that up. That makes sense. But the thing is, like in actual D&D. Especially the thing,
which is why he had a sword, which could turn into other things.
By
that makes sense.
point, he had been playing Scanlan for like 10 years, like a long time.
I don't know about 10 years, but a while.
Because they had the
campaign one went on for a long time before the scenes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the homebrew campaign happened for quite a while before Critical Role started. So
so presumably
Scanlan
for a while.
I want to say at least 5. Let's say generously 5-6 years.
I couldn't say.
Giving up I'm just be on the safe side, conservative side. Giving up a character that you played for that long. Like there's people I've heard of who have level 25 characters they've been playing for like 15 years. To give up a character you've been playing for that long to just give it up and pick up a new character.
But the thing that you have to keep in mind though.
Let me finish my thought. That's a big deal within a D&D campaign. Well, I should clarify. It's depending on your DM is either a really big deal or not that big a deal. And the show. Hold on. Let me finish. The show.
No, I want before you get away from it. I want to respond to that. Where in this circumstance though, the thing you have to keep in mind is the big difference between like this and like a more permanent way is his character wasn't dead. He
No,
was
but
basically on a shelf where he could come back to him if he wanted.
it's still
And
giving up a
that
character.
makes all the difference in the world.
It's still giving up a character though, right? It's still being like,
Not in the same way as him dying.
I'm not gonna play this character anymore. I'm gonna pick up a new character. I'm gonna go through and especially with Sam in particular. Unless he changes a great deal, he barely understands how to play he barely understands how to play the bard. There's plenty of times where he's like, where they go ooh, and he's like, okay, I guess. So for him to try to learn a whole new character, the show doesn't. If you've never watched the campaign, the point was the show doesn't represent that. Where it's just okay now there's a new party member that was clearly played by Sam, and Sam would have played this character differently. You don't capture that just within the context of the show. Scanlan just isn't there now, and the show is lesser for it. Like that's the point I was trying to drive at. Where I'm like,
yeah, well, it feels like the movie version of like if you're watching a movie version of a book, where it's like, oh, I feel like I've missed a lot of context here that makes this make this matter more.
Yeah, like him leaving is a big deal, and the show doesn't treat it as such, but the campaign does because Sam, there's an inherent meta context to it. He's given up a character that people love, even temporarily.
Yeah,
that is representative of a big deal, but the show just doesn't convey because they're
because the big difference between the campaign and a show is with a show, if you know anything about show making, you know Scanlan is coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
In some capacity, you know he is coming back.
Yeah.
Whereas in the campaign, they had no idea if they would ever see because he's not playing Scanlan anymore.
Exactly.
So like he might never play Scanlan again. They might never see him again, especially because in terms of the way that Sam was portraying the character, Scanlan was hiding from them. Scanlan didn't want to be found.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And so like that's the big difference.
You got a lot like I noticed it felt shoehorned in, like the him doing what's my mother's name, that felt shoehorned.
Oh, they've already passed that moment. Like it made no sense for him to do it here.
No, yeah, it felt. They
had to artificially create that same situation.
It feels like it, and I haven't seen that. I've seen that moment. Like I've seen that moment out of context. I have not seen it in context yet. But even out of context, it doesn't work. It's not working.
It's not the same.
It just feels like they put it in because they knew they didn't put it in the last season, and they knew that they had to.
And people had responded and were like, why wasn't it there?
Yeah, exactly. And it feels like it's being. But that all having been said,
it's not to say there's not stuff to like in this season.
The Bard battle is the most metal thing I've ever seen in my life. Super fucking metal. It was sick as fuck. I'm like, this is sick.
And Andy Serkis is killing it as the Whispered One.
Well, that's
he's killing it.
You mean legally distinct but not dissimilar to Vecna?
No, he's the Whispered One.
He's legally distinct, just like Grog.
He's the
Whispered
One,
but not dissimilar to the Deck of Many Things.
I think you mean the Deck of Infinite Possibilities, Justin?
Infinite Possibilities. That was quite funny. I went, oh, you mean the Deck of Many Things? Because that's definitely what that is.
No. It's the legally distinct Deck of Infinite Possibility. What are you talking about, Justin?
Right?
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
When I was watching this, I was like,
that's why the evil Scanlan, the evil Bard, also was not using he was using his own version of the hand, because it's a legally distinct version,
from Bigby's hand. Yeah. But no, that sequence is sick. Like the action sequences in this are still sick. Like the people who animate this, they should let them do Marvel shit. Like I don't know why Marvel isn't hiring these people because it's so fluid.
I mean, yeah,
it's easy to see everything. The thing I love about this show is even still. I know you said that they weren't actual boss fights, but I love the moments that feel like they're boss fights. From you could picture how this would play out on a table. Like there's a fight early on where they're fighting a big version of Taryn Darrington's sidekick guy, and Dodie, yeah, they're fighting a big version of Dodie. There's the big version of Dodie, and then he's got 3 or 4 little minions, and you could picture them rolling to fight this thing, or you could be like, I love him when he pulls the unicorn. You're like, oh, Travis clearly rolled a 20. Like I love moments like that in the show where you could picture this playing out on the table, and that's when this show is at its strongest.
Yeah, I mean, I just prefer it when they were actual moments.
That's the thing that's frustrating though, is watching
where it's like I remember that was like I remember this moment. Like that's kind of why I like watching these.
Yeah, that's what makes that. There's a couple of interviews where Travis Willing was like, "Oh, we didn't have any interest in just redoing the shit we did on the table." I'm like, "But you did." That's what this was in season 1, and you pretending that that's not what you intended to do because you couldn't find a way to make it work without context. Just be honest and be like, a lot of these moments are too entrenched.
Well, that's where sometimes
they
it
don't
depends on
work.
the interview. Some of the interviews they have said that where they're like, there's just it presents as opportunities to make artistic changes, and I'm like, that's fair.
That's
Like that's
fair.
fair.
That's
If I want
fair,
to
I guess.
go and watch the original, I can just go watch the original. That's why I call
Yeah,
this like this is
this is
that's
true.
why that's why I refer to this more as this is an adaptation. It's an
Yes.
adaptation of the campaign.
I just don't think it's as good at. To be fair, I
Like
said
there's a
that.
lot of moments where they're acting on like on the actual campaign. Their acting ability is so good that like they just kill the scene in the original campaign.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
it's like in a lot of circumstances, and that's why like I don't necessarily mind with this season that it's not 100% faithful because it's less shackling,
But like an example of an earlier season
if
though, where
that makes
like,
sense.
yes, absolutely. But also like, I saw, I the first time I watched Vox Machina, I saw the best. Another good example of what you're talking about is when they killed off Vax, the girl, Vax,
Vexalia, Lady
Vex.
Vexalia.
When they kill her, meant nothing to me on the show, and I didn't feel it. But when they kill her on the when she gets
Yeah,
killed by
on the actual thing, it's a lot
it's
different.
heart wrenching in a way that the animated show just isn't, because it's
Yeah,
like you
that
invested
comes
like
down to
30, 40, 50 plus hours of watching this character, and you understand that
oh,
for
not even
her.
just that, but you got to think about like that's where I'm saying as opposed to Scanlan, she was going through oh my god, I've been playing this character for like let's say generously,
Yeah.
or like well, let's say
5 years to be, we'll be
conservatively
generous,
5 years,
yeah.
right? Like she's like off screen, whatever. I've been playing this character for all this time, and she just there was no role.
Right,
There
she's
was no
dead.
like she
She's
had an
just dead.
opportunity to save herself. It was just Percy opened the coffin, and it wasn't even because of something she did.
No, exactly.
Right? It was Callith and Jaffe. It was like, oh yeah, I opened the thing, and because he did that, he got her character killed.
Yeah, and poof, dead. And that
Poof,
moment,
dead.
but that moment is, it's just not just, it's everyone. It's everyone at the table, because yeah, you're playing.
They're all talking and they're like having fun, and he's like he quietly Matt and him are having this interaction to the side as they're all talking, not paying attention, and so like it really was like a like, and that's the feeling they're
Yeah.
trying to recapture in the show, where it was just like a Percy does the thing, nobody's paying attention, and then there's horrifying
But
consequences. But like,
there's
it's not the
there's
same.
more emotional investment from on their part in the characters, because they have control over how these characters
Yeah.
behave. Like they're actually people in this moment, and so yeah, when everyone in the room it goes silent, and they're all like, you feel it,
Like,
like
oh
there's
oh my
actual
God.
tension that just doesn't exist in the animated show, and they've just never none of these. But that having been said, I think that the Mighty Nine show doesn't have that feeling of, oh yeah, I feel like I'm missing something from the campaign. I don't feel that. That exists in its own space, and I think it's good, independent of the campaign. This is the opposite of that for some reason, and I cannot figure out why. Why that? It's the same people making it. It's the same writing team. I don't understand what they're doing on the Mighty. Maybe it truly is those extra 10 minutes per episode. I don't know
Well,
what it is, but it just
okay,
season 1 of Mighty Nine is better than this,
so
in my opinion.
okay. Here's my response to that. You're saying that right now. Your opinion might be different if you haven't experienced the original campaign in any form for the Mighty Nine, so you're just experiencing it as a show.
Interesting.
And as a show, functionally, yes, absolutely, it's better because it does what the Vox Machina show doesn't, and it gives you a background where it gives you the introduction for each of the characters, which is what a regular normal show would
Yeah, but
do.
it doesn't feel clunky or slow about it like Vox
It
Machina
doesn't
does.
because they've written it. They've rewritten that. They've written it much in the same way as they did for this season. They re-engineered a lot of that, rewrote it,
Sure.
recontextualized it, and so you don't notice that because you haven't experienced. Let me finish.
Well,
You
but-
haven't Let me finish. You haven't experienced the original campaign.
Right.
Whereas for let me finish. Whereas for Mighty Nine, or for not Mighty Nine, for Vox Machina, you have been. You have been experiencing the original campaign, and even the amount that you have been has made you notice differences between the two.
Okay. My response to that is not initially. Initially, I did. Initially, I'm comparing. I would compare it not so much to my experience with the first season, which I hadn't seen the campaign yet, and that did feel like I was missing something. That show always felt like I was missing something. The Mighty Nine never does. I don't feel like I'm missing anything from that show. I feel like that is its own contained thing, and I think it's a better written show than this. And I cannot figure out why. It just doesn't.
I've
seem
already
like...
told you why. It's because they've no, but
I let you
you're
finish.
saying you can't figure out why,
I let you
Justin. But I
finish.
just told
I
you
let
why.
you finish. Let me finish. I don't understand why that. Because even when I watched the first season, I hadn't watched the campaign yet. I still felt lost. What I'm saying is, I don't understand why they can't take the lessons that they've learned from. Let me finish, please. I don't understand why they can't take the lessons that they've learned from the Mighty Nine and apply it to this and be like, okay, sure, you've missed the campaign, but this still works as its own self-contained thing. This doesn't work as its own self-contained thing. I don't understand why they haven't taken the lessons learned from the Mighty Nine show of improving the writing and applied it to this. That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't understand. Why are they not taking those lessons and applying it? Because you're right, I haven't seen the Mighty Nine campaign, but that doesn't matter. Whereas with Vox Machina, the reason why I watched
The reason
Critical
why,
Role,
Justin,
hold on,
is
let
to
me finish.
respond to you
Let me
is
finish.
because it's too late. They already have the first couple seasons where they did connect it more to the campaign, and so they've done exactly what you've said for this season. They have changed a lot. They've basically created entirely new scenarios and recontextualized things. We never saw
But then
Darrington's
why
dad in
does
the
it still
original.
feel
We didn't,
clunky?
because it's already connected to the earlier part of it where it was more comparable to the
I
campaign.
don't know.
So it's more noticeable.
I think it's fixable though.
It's not.
I think they could have fixed it at this point.
I
do.
don't.
I do. But that all having been said, yeah, Andy Serkis is pretty great. I will say that doing this kind of ruined the twist a bit for me, a little bit. But to be fair, they don't hide it for very long. Like they make it pretty apparent pretty quickly that he's Vecna. They don't do it. I thought that they were gonna play it out a bit more.
The whispered one,
Yeah, I'm
Justin.
calling him Vecna. I don't care what you call him. I thought for sure that they were going to play it out for longer of the mystery of who he was. I wasn't expecting them to give it to us.
Yeah, so that's another example of
I thought for sure they were going to play it out longer.
he is another example where I have to just look at this like this is a separate thing from the campaign.
Yes.
This is an adaptation, and like for an adaptation, he's killing it. Like he's doing a really good job. But there's just a lot of little things.
There's a lot of like
where
an example of like he seems to like his plan and a lot of his monologues seem to have a particular beef with the Raven Queen. And I will say this is a thing I know that they cut because I just came upon it, where his plan is what the Raven Queen did, like using magic whatever to turn himself into a god. The show does not mention that whatsoever.
I mentioned that to you.
Well, no, yeah, you didn't mention that the Raven Queen used to be human.
Yes, I did.
No.
I did because to be fair, you had just been complaining about spoilers from two of your friends, so I was carefully trying to tiptoe around the fact. But yes, I was. Yes, she was a human. Yes.
Yeah, that the show.
No, the show absolutely does not do that. This show,
in
fact, this show, in fact, seems to want to imply. I mean, knowing what I know, this show seems to want to imply something which was just not a thing in the original.
See,
and fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. This show kind of wants to imply that the girl that he was working with was the Raven Queen.
Oh, see, I didn't get.
She
That's
got
so
turned
funny.
into the god and stopped him from following her.
Oh, interesting.
That's what this show implies. Knowing what I know about the fact that the Raven Queen was a human.
I didn't pick that up at all. Like even retroactively, once I found out that I didn't pick up that the woman. I didn't even that you did say you did imply that the girl might be the Raven Queen. I didn't pick up that at all. I picked up that he got a lot of his dialogue seems to derive from the original campaign, where his beef from my perspective seems to he seems to be particularly
So-
bitter to, or he stole the plan from the Raven Queen, and all the dialogue that he has regarding that seems to be left over from that, but they cut out the plot element that the Raven, unless they're saving the idea that the Raven Queen, now that you've said that, that does make a sense. They're saving the reveal that the Raven Queen used to be human as some sort of statement on the gods themselves, maybe? Because, like, up until a point,
So-
what he was saying was not sounding all that unreasonable.
This is the most yeah. So you remember how I said that this show is a way where they can introduce things that were not a thing at the time of Vox Machina, and they can integrate and bring
Yeah,
story threads together. The Raven Queen is the prime the pardon the phrasing, is the prime example of that for this season where I mean, at the time, I don't. Maybe Matt. Here's what I'll say. Matt probably knew. Matt probably has had a lot of this planned out for years, because knowing what I know about D&D creators who create their worlds, I have a friend who is the same way. Michael, who has been on the stream. He has plans on plans on plans where like he's constantly got story threads in his head. So I could believe that maybe Matt had some idea of this, but at the time of spoiler alert, I guess, but at the time of Vox Machina, I guarantee you, like the players had no idea that the Raven Queen had once been human. That was not a plot thread from that campaign.
yes, it
that
was.
that comes in.
Yes,
What?
Yes, it was. It was.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, that literally just happened. I literally just listened to that episode.
I don't think so.
Yep, they absolutely did. He just revealed, and that's why I said to you. I said, oh, the Raven Queen was supposed to be human, so he got the idea of the plan to become a god from the Raven Queen. I literally said it to you.
No, yeah, right.
Yeah, they discover it. Percy discovered it.
Anyways, the point being though is still the same that there's things where there's things where they are entwining certain things. So like one of the things that, and maybe this is where I'm mixing up the things, in one of the campaigns, I don't remember which one, so I don't feel bad spoiling it because I don't remember which one it's from. But in one of the campaigns, we find out that the Raven Queen was in love with or like had a connection or whatever, wanted to rescue. Basically, she's second incarnation of death.
Gotcha.
Basically, so there was an original god before her who basically didn't want to be God didn't want to be in that position anymore. And so that original version of her helped her create this spell, which lets her take his position.
Gotcha.
Basically. And so they're either going in the route of this where she is the human that was with Vecna and she ascended and left him behind and he's pissed.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes
which
sense.
is what it feels like that's what they're going for in this version, because in this version it feels more, because part of the problem with Vecna in the original is he was Vecna.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't like a special, cool, unique version
Yeah.
of Vecna. He was largely just straight from the D&D module Vecna.
Vecna, yeah.
With maybe a little bit of spice on
They've
top.
had to add some characteristics to give.
So
him
like
some,
yeah, there's definitely more to his character in this than there was in the original. So for them to go to the route of like he was the lover of the Raven Queen when she was human is absolutely believable.
They're doing a thing of you're always the hero of your own story. He doesn't think he's a villain. He thinks he's doing the right thing. They're definitely doing that with this character.
And so I'm just there's a lot of differences with him where it's like I don't dislike it. I like Andy Serkis, and I think he's doing a pretty phenomenal job.
It was always,
just like there's changes for me, with Terry and Darrington, where I'm like, he's quite different than Sam Riegel's version, but I still like him.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Sam plays that character. I'm very interested in seeing that.
Like even when I'm critical, pardon the role, but or the phrase, but even when I'm critical on this show for the changes that it has made for the original, I still think that it's a good show.
A lot of those characters,
largely,
like most of the characters on Critical Role have a foppish British accent for no reason. So like Scanlan has a foppish British accent for no reason.
Very strong jaw.
Yeah. Or what's her face? Marisha plays it. Oh my god, I'm blanking on the name. Keyleth. Keyleth has a weird. Keyleth has a weird. Same with they all do. They all have a British accent.
Yeah, well, I think it's
the only one who
because,
retains it for the show is Vex or Vax. Vax is the only one who keeps his British accent, but the rest of them all lose their. No, that's not true. Percy keeps his British accent as well. That's fair.
I think it's because when they created these characters long ago when they were young people, they were like, oh, that's in medieval times. We gotta have like medievally style voices. Those are like European style voices, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. And they've just sort of, but yeah, Scanlan in particular has a British accent in the campaign that you.
That's like, and I don't feel bad spoiling this because like after the first episode, pretty immediately he stops doing it. But in campaign 2 with Scanlan and Not the Brave in the original campaign when he originally does the voice, I think he does like a Cockney voice or something like that, and he's like, that's right, I'm committed to this for the whole campaign, and then pretty immediately he stops doing it and changes it.
I could see. Yeah, that makes sense. Given how that character was written, that makes total sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not to say I'm not stoked for season 5. I just think the Mighty Nine has raised the bar too high for me. I think I'm expecting more out of this show now than I maybe should.
I mean, there's also just the fact that for part of why I think you have a warmer. Final thoughts. Part of I think why you have a warmer reception for Mighty Nine has to just do with the very, even with the campaign, the very nature of the differences between the two.
Yeah, there's more depth to the Mighty Nine.
There's more depth to the Mighty Nine. If you were gonna look at the Legend of Vox Machina and consider that like the kiddie pool, then Mighty Nine is more like going into the kid pool.
You can absolutely tell. Yeah, you could tell it's got way more complex, mature theme storytelling than Vox Machina does.
More nuance, I would say.
And that is fair. You could tell that's there's a reason why it's everyone's favorite campaign. Most Critical Role fans are like, I like Vox Machina, but the Mighty Nine is my favorite, and there's a reason for that.
There's just a number of reasons why.
Yeah. But I mean, look. If a show must have a worse season, this can be that. I don't know. I will say maybe it's funny the it being different thing and it being worse for being different thing. I don't feel that this season. I felt it way more last season because that season did feel like they rushed through a bunch of those dragons, and it's missing a bunch of the characters that make that section of the campaign. Maybe that is because I'm currently listening to it, but like you're missing shit. Like you're missing Felicia Day's character and Will Wheaton's character and
there's a lot.
Not Veronica. What's the name of the character? The one from the Settlers Keep. The Hunter's Keep or whatever. The one who's got the husband, Merton.
Slayer's Keep.
Yeah, her husband. Vanessa from the...
Yeah.
It's missing Vanessa. It's missing the Hunter's Keep. It's missing all that shit.
It's missing a lot of, like... and this is just a problem that I suspect Mighty Nine probably will have as well, where it's like, a lot of the guest characters are missing. Just a lot of them.
Yeah, and like, okay, we got to have Zara...
I get it,
and Kasha. But yeah, like... I like the Will Wheaton's dwarf character is one of the funniest characters in the campaign, and he's totally not in there. And I just think it would have been funny to have him be in there as this stoic badass who failed upwards. I just think that's funny. I think that would have been a funny character.
A lot of that just comes down to time, though. They just don't have the time.
Like the comparison to Dragon Ball is apt because it feels like we're into the next arc of the anime. But we missed a bunch of the.
Yeah, it really does feel like you're watching Dragon Ball Z Kai.
We missed a bunch of the Frieza saga, and we missed all the good shit from the Frieza saga.
Or comparing like the Harry Potter movie to the books.
Yeah. Like it feels like we missed a bunch of the Frieza saga, and we've just skipped straight to the Cell saga. That's what this feels like.
Yeah, because it is.
Season 4 of Vox Machina. We talked about that for a long time, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey there, everybody. It's NCAR Justin here. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think about The Legend of Vox Machina Season 4? Hey, look, in a group of great things, something has to be the worst, alright? And this is probably the worst. But let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments down below. But in the meantime, if you would like to see the full podcast that this is from, you click the box on the left. That is our magic episode. Or if you just want to see a random video, you click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week. Or you can just leave this video a like. That helps us out too. We'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day, everybody.